Greetings, greetings. Today is Monday, July 21st of 2025. I am Tanya Thompson, and this is Working While Black, causing good trouble for justice and change. I am recording this video from my car today. I have been really dealing with a lot around this issue, this Working While Black issue. And I just needed to get out and change my scenery. So I came out to the marina. The water always calms me. And I have been fighting this system around my workers' compensation, because now they're denying my workers' compensation, or attempting to deny my treatment, at least, saying that there's no medical need. However, the work environment hasn't changed, and that was the whole cause of injury. So if the cause of injury hasn't been dealt with, mitigated, how on earth am I supposed to return to work? That just doesn't make sense to me. So I needed to get some space. I needed to get my head cleared, or I just needed to decompress. And I thought it was a perfect opportunity to share a little bit more about this journey with you guys. The first thing I want to say as I start is I want to make a correction. Number one, I had said in my first video that SB 497 was effective January 1st of 24. Correction. SB 497 was effective the day it was signed, October 8th of 2023. Now, I'm going to tell a story about October 8th, 2023, probably in another video. But just know that that day is very significant, particularly to the issues inherent in my particular situation, which is why I'm bringing awareness to SB 497. So I wanted to correct that, the date that it became effective. So if you're out there looking it up to see how it applies to you, perhaps, just know that it was effective October 8th of 2023. The other thing that I want to make sure that I say and share, this platform is called Working While Black. I am Black, if you hadn't noticed, and my work experience, my experience that I'm sharing, can only come through the lens of a black woman, because that is how I identify myself, and that is the lens through which I interact with the world. So a lot of the way I will present my position, my opinions, my experiences will be through that lens. What I do want to make clear, however, is that I am very well aware that retaliation impacts more than just Black women or Black people. It impacts employees on all levels, from the lowest in the organization to the top highest in the organization. Anybody can be subject to retaliation. And I'm going to do another video that'll specifically go into retaliation as well. But I absolutely want to make clear that this platform is open to anyone who is dealing with retaliation. Just understand that it will come, the information you receive on this channel will come through the lens of a Black woman who has been experiencing retaliation, hostile work environment, and harassment in the workplace from a state agency, no less. So I wanted to make sure I extended the opportunity, or I want to add, if you just support those of us who are dealing with workplace harassment, hostile work environment, retaliation, and you just stand in support with us, you are also welcome here. Share this information with those you know and love who are dealing with it. I'm hoping that something I say will make it easier for somebody else who's navigating these rough waters alone, because I'm navigating them alone. I can't find an attorney to pick up my case. Like, I'm doing this all myself. So the thing I wanted to share in terms of what's been happening, last week on Tuesday, I decided to take a trip to the legislative offices, and I delivered a letter and a one-page document that I created that covers a lot of the general overview of what's happening with SB 497 and my specific situation, and what I imagine is happening with SB 497 on a broader scale. So I had went to, that was horrible grammar. Forgive me. I went to the legislative offices on Tuesday of last week and delivered this packet of information. I visited 3 representatives, 2 senators, and the Assembly Majority Leader, who happens to be my district representative. The Assembly Majority Leader and one of the senators were both women, and then the other senator that I visited was a man. And I'm bringing distinction to that because it was really interesting to note the reception, I'll call it, that I received between the different offices. When I went to Senator Lola Smallwood Cuevas, and I may be butchering names, so please forgive me if I am. When I went to Senator Smallwood's office, again, she's the one who sponsored SB 497. I went to her office to share with her office how this bill is not being enforced. Her office, of course, expressed interest. They were looking for information, eager to find ways to support. Awesome. Wouldn't expect anything less. When I went to when I went to Assembly Majority Leader Cecilia Aguilar Curry, and I know I probably butchered that one, but when I went to Miss Curry's office, her staff was receptive and on point with the information I was sharing. They were asking questions. They were even empathetic. I then went to Senator, and I know I'm going to say his name wrong, Calbadon, and his office was the most dismissive. The aide that I spoke to in his office, he was a male, and he had the audacity to present as though my story was untrue. When I was asking him about SB 497, he couldn't really say that he agreed, or he wouldn't comment that it was or was not being enforced. He was making comments like, well, I got to do some research and see if this applies in your case. And granted, don't get me wrong, I absolutely expect him to do his research. What I'm pointing out was the dismissive tone that came with his offer. And I will even give him that he did follow up with the previous person that I spoke with when I called Senator Calbadon's office the week before. And that person emailed me back and submitted a request to the labor commissioner because I filed a complaint. They did follow up, but all they got back was, she just needs to wait. We're processing. So as a legislator who is being advised that laws are not being followed, the most that you're willing to do is simply say, you just got to wait in line. I find that egregious and appalling, because as a legislator, it is your job. It is his job as a legislator to ensure that these laws are being enforced. So I really feel like he fell down at that point. But I'll leave room for the senator to clean it up and maybe turn it around. I don't know. I'm not going to be judgmental. I am just sharing what my experience is and what my experience has been. And I think the other thing that I wanted to share is that I am creating an opportunity for community action around this issue. So stay tuned for your opportunity to come out and stand up and shout it out real soon. Thank you so much for joining me here at Working While Black, causing good trouble for justice and change. If you have not yet done so, please subscribe to my channel so you can get all the updates when they're happening. I'm looking to start doing lives real soon, y'all, so get those subscribers up there so we can have some live conversations as well.